You know, talk about the whole shebang doodle.
What shebang doodle? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll do the. All right.
Hi everyone.
Hi everybody.
Hello, this is Frank along with
Tony.
and we are the Completely Inappropriate Podcast. So, I was...
Hold your
Okay.
horses. Let the people know where they can find us.
Oh, you can find us here, right now.
You already found us. Congratulations.
You can find us under Completely Inappropriate Podcast on YouTube and on Twitter. You can find us in the on YouTube and the Facebooks. You can find us in the Twitterverse under Completely Inap with 1P. You can find us under Instagram in Instagram under @CI_podcast.
Take your time, sir. Take your
And-
time. Get it right.
And you can also email us with your questions, comments, concerns, or fuck it, throw in some insults. Be like, hey, that guy is fucking retarded or some shit. I don't know.
You can't say that anymore. That's so inappropriate, Frank. You guys would be very rude if you said that, just so you know.
Okay, but I'd still roll with it. So you can email us at
Still roll with
completelyinappropriate@gmail.com.
Wow, that took forever to get through, huh?
Well, you said take your sweet ass time, get it right.
I was being a little facetious, but that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay, man. So, what you been up to since when I see you Sunday?
Your marathon.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But you were bringing up this Tim Pool video that you sent me that I sort of listened to that I got sick of real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't my kind of spiel. I had nothing to go. What were we talking about?
So
Bring it
what I do during the week is I look up topics, conversations, something to fucking talk about for these next 2 episodes, for the week. And I really couldn't think of anything. Well, I did, right? But I was like, that's just too much research. So then I stumbled on a video.
No, what a shitty topic. I'd actually have to work at that one. Nah, I'm good.
and then I stumbled on a video titled "The Dangerous Rise of Men Who Refuse to Date Woke Women," and I'm like,
The danger.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we can talk about that because we haven't spoken about dating or relationships or sex in forever.
I was gonna say we haven't. Isn't that like the first quarter of our episodes?
Yeah, the first quarter, and then we had all these guests, and then
yeah, we kind of went on a long little thing
odyssey.
there. Going through so many different people. That was fun, man. We even had a couple recording here and there that we can't even post because we were asked to hold off on it for a little while. But so we got some things in the can that are gonna come up a little later on, hopefully, as long as things go right.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's been an odyssey. That's a very nice way to put it. But so as far as these woke ass people trying to but I still don't understand why do they care so much? Like, it's obviously an echo chamber article. You know what I mean? Because he was referring to this particular article, right? That had that as the title.
Well, Tim Pool,
Tim Pool is
yeah.
what we're talking about, yeah.
But what had happened is that it was this celebrity and actor that was on BBC talking about this, how men don't want to date woke women because...
So it blew up a little bit.
Yeah, because they're annoying and obsessed with what is essentially victimhood,
Victimhood.
And it's a turnoff to be like, oh, I can't do this because outside circumstances.
All right. Well, now, you're talking about people complaining about not wanting to be with people that complain all the time is basically what it boils down to. Like, whether they're complaining about feminist issues or they're complaining about man issues, it's you're talking about people that decide not to be with somebody, not because of their views, most likely. It's because of the force with which they feel the need to put their views on everyone else and share it with you. Like,
they're angry.
If you don't share the same views and you don't want to talk about it all the goddamn time, but that person is doing nothing but talking about this shit you have a vague interest in, but what do you expect? I don't expect my wife to want me to talk about my fucking running shoes all the goddamn time, even though I'm like really into buying the right ones with zero drop and all the blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people don't give a shit about the details of some of the shit you like.
Yeah.
Like you gotta get over it. But because it's such a big political issue, like, no, you have to care. You have to care.
Yes.
It's like, motherfucker, I care about getting my bills paid this month. I don't have time to be worried about going to some feminist rally or do this or do that for your sake. Like, do it on your own. No one's gonna stop them from doing it. The problem is that this particular sect is just, they want to live in their echo chamber.
Yeah, and it's like, a few days ago you posted that post, like, veganism is great, but it's just not for me, you know? And,
So,
what happened? Yeah, and even a few years back, I think 2, maybe 3 years back, there was a movement. I don't know. There was a thing going on where transgender people.
I had a movement a little while ago.
Transgender people, not all of them, some, went on YouTube and were proclaiming that if you don't want to date me, you're a bigot. That not wanting to date a trans person is transphobic.
Well, I understand the argument because they've used the same argument. Like, if you're a white man or a Mexican man, you're not sexually attracted to black women, then you're somewhat racist. It's like, I just don't have a preference for that, whatever it is. You know, that X factor of that particular. You don't have a fondness for Asians when there's a common misconception that pretty much all men have a thing for Asian women. You know what I mean? But why? I mean, you want to explain to people why you don't know? It's just you just don't have that proclivity.
Yeah.
But we're being expected because of this whole woke generation that no, you have to be attracted to every body type. Every skin tone, every bone structure, every facial reconstruction that people want to do to themselves or to each other, and it's too much, man. It's just people forcing their views on, forcing their own,
Yeah, their views. It's like, believe what I fucking believe, or you're like, I don't want to name a specific person, but there are people out there, because where there's one, there's bound to be many, that firmly believe that when it comes to politics of all fucking things, that it's a battle between good and evil. Like, what was her name?
That is black and white. Everybody wants things to be black and white. It
Yeah.
just makes decisions easier. Swipe left, swipe right. That's what everybody wants to do with their politics now. It's like, there's no middle. You can't stop halfway through and think, well, maybe I'll go on one date with this chick before I, just swipe left or swipe whichever fucking direction. I have never been on any of those fucking
Left
things.
is for no.
Of course you would know immediately.
Yeah.
But, you bastard. You're so fucking crazy. Hey, how has your dating life been?
It's been there. I mean, it hasn't been what it's been lately, but that's on.
Wait,
it hasn't been.
It's definitely been what it's been lately.
No, it hasn't been what it used to be. You
A
know,
little more
understandably so, because I'm a little bit older and I'm fucking a bit more busy.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're busier now than you were?
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe. You don't seem all that busy, sir.
Well,
Although I really have no contact with you during the week. It's
Yeah.
when we do talk, it's just strictly to talk about the podcast, about
Yeah.
upcoming guests, about what we're the subject matter and all that. It's really strange considering how many hours we've put into talking with each other. I still don't know what you do during the week.
Yeah, well, I do podcast stuff and I do.
Your meme hunting is incredible. You've elevated your Insta game like a baller. Your hashtag game really, I think, is what's getting people back onto our page. Check us out at CI Podcast on Instagram. That's where you can find these. They also repost on Facebook, right? It's like linked. Or something.
Yeah, and it's link to the picture on Instagram.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Technology.
But yeah,
Internet.
dating for me hasn't been what it used to be. And
Is it because these women are too woke?
You would think that.
No, I actually don't think that. I was just kidding.
No, because
in
we're
line with the
about,
conversation that we're having, I was just wondering,
totally.
have you run into any women that were just a little too PC for you to even want to continue a conversation with?
Well,
or is that not this general area?
I haven't. Well, no, this area is does have people like that, but I haven't.
People like that, just
the
more
politically obsessed. Let's call them.
Oh, okay. That's a good term.
And
one way or the other, some people just get rowdy with it.
Yeah, and I haven't been on a date with a feminist or the social justice warrior, but on Tinder I do get a lot of women that proudly post vegan, which I don't mind. And they'll post feminist, and if you like Donald Trump, swipe left, and yeah, and then these women they have their.
But what is it, the problem with that is if you like Donald Trump, like, well, in what context? You know what I mean? I like him as a TV character. I think he's fucking hilarious. I think the guy is a comedian. You know, he's a really funny guy. He's an asshole, he's a prick, but shit, so are half my friends. So what the fuck am I gonna judge for, you know? As far as his policies go, that's a different subject.
Yeah, you can like the guy and disagree with him.
If you want to argue particular politics, but why is it, man? You know, growing up, I had family members that would be on the left and family members that would be on the right, and everybody was damn civil with each other. Like, even, you know, husbands and wives could have differing opinions on who they want to vote for. You see it in TV sitcoms all the time. You know, the daughter and the mom want to vote this way, and then the dad wants to vote that way. Isn't that how Tim Allen's show got canceled?
Because he made fun of Hillary.
He was making fun of Hillary, but the whole point was that it
was a conservative father with a modern.
Well, and they were addressing the problem that the mom just wanted to vote for Hillary based on the fact that she was a woman, and not based on any policy. And that just continued on, and that ended up getting them canceled off of that network.
Yep.
And then they just moved to another network or some shit the next year.
Yeah, I think it was Fox that picked them up. I don't know.
Yeah, and then they changed like two of the characters. It was real weird.
Yeah.
It was real. I hate it. TV just sometimes the show just jumps the shark for the sake of it. That was a revenge season for sure. But anyway, what the fuck were we talking about? How to get on Tim Allen?
No, because some of these women on Tinder are.
Oh yeah, that's right. So they're saying if you like Trump, like the politics of a person shouldn't matter. It should be how can they speak about their politics? How does a person address your views and their views individually, because you're not supposed to, the idea isn't that you're going to get married to somebody who perfectly matches every single thought and idea that you have. Me and my wife don't agree on every single fact in the nation or fact in the newspaper or whatever, or opinions rather, facts are facts, not alternative facts. But point being, you know, that's just unrealistic to believe that you can find that perfect match. So to eliminate any sort of differing opinion from the potential, you're eliminating the possibility of finding somebody that you could communicate alternative ideas with really well, because you just shut them down. You didn't even give them a chance to communicate with you. Maybe you could sway them too. Like, yeah, I'm a Trump supporter, but after a 3-hour conversation with you over a beautiful dinner and looking into your eyes, you seduced me into the Democratic Party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not to say that that's, you know, what you should do or how you should do it. I'm just, you know, hyperbolizing the story a little bit. But, yeah, that's my point.
Because, like, if you find somebody who's a perfect match where you have everything in common and you agree about everything, it's just going to be boring and it's going to fizzle out pretty fucking quick.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to argue.
Yeah, you gotta have some differences, enough differences to where you complement each other.
Well,
Not
it's the
completely-
whole yin and yang. You
Yeah.
gotta have darkness to appreciate
Harmony.
the light. You know, harmony. So yeah, man. That's,
yeah, and
well,
then what happened? The other thing was that came to my mind was soy boys and white knights.
soy boys. Now we talked about that a few way back when.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure I remember what a soy boy is.
Soy boy is somebody who has too much soy in their diet, and they're very
Oh, that's right, because it came from the idea that soy was causing more higher levels of estrogen to be
yeah.
produced in this particular in the particular people that would eat soy. What was it in soy? Is it just
soy everything?
but the plant itself? Well, I mean, but so
Yeah,
do
the plant itself is.
but so do
estrogen
Asian
rich.
cultures. Which is kind of funny because I know in Japan there's this whole androgynous movement where even the businessmen are known to wear eyeliner and makeup to make them look more presentable and less haggard and stuff.
Well, look at the K-pop groups that are popping up. They're very effeminate.
Oh yeah, you can't tell who, yeah. I mean they've always been that way though. The rock stars from Japan have always looked very feminine. They went with that hair metal.
Well, yeah,
And
they
just
look the way,
continued-
but they
continued
wouldn't
with hair
consider
metal.
themselves femboys.
Okay.
Yeah, because now it's a thing now. Like, I'm a femboy. Don't hate me because I'm cute or
Don't
whatever.
hate me because I'm beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. But what happened?
And I got no problem with femboys or like even the like gay guys that want to dress extreme because it came up on the culture episode, and I feel like I might have overstated what I was trying to say. Is that I have no problem with people dressing however the hell they want to dress. The problem is when they wear something that's obviously gonna turn people's heads, and then they get offended when it turns somebody's heads. Like, own your outfit, own your choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be offended if somebody's offended by your outfit because you were looking for a reaction. And again, it's one of those things, you can't expect everybody to fucking like how you dress. I assure you, if you dress like that, you're gonna look at somebody like me or somebody like you, and be like, "Wow, those guys have no style," because there's just drab, dull kind of colors, you know, just sweatpants and a t-shirt. Like, some people care more, some people care less. Same thing with the butch lesbians or whatever. I don't even know if you're allowed to call them butch lesbians anymore.
Well, you
The
just
more,
did.
more masculine leaning, no, because they're still women, right? They just like to dress a certain way and look a certain way. So
Yeah.
whatever the hell you want to designate yourself as, your pronoun or whatever it's called, dress how you want to dress. But when a little boy who's not around that kind of demographic comes up and sees a woman and he's confused and looks at his mom, is that a man or a woman? Because it's obviously a woman's body underneath men's clothing and a man's haircut. I'm sorry, not a man, but a certain set of clothes and a certain haircut that he finds masculine and has seen more on males. It's very confusing. It's confusing just to talk about in the right terms, much less to explain on the fly to a little kid in the moment, you know. And people would dare to say like, "Oh, well, you haven't taught your kid acceptance." It's like, he hasn't been exposed to that yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand that. We have a cousin. My son has a distant cousin, second or third, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a little Caucasian with blonde hair, really long, and he's 9 years old. Like, he doesn't have a masculine or feminine look to his body. He's very androgynous looking, and so my son would confusingly say her, and we had to correct him for almost 2 days before he started realizing that he was calling a little boy a her.
Yeah.
And it's just it's not anybody's fault. Like, we did our best to communicate it with him the first time, the second time, the third time, but just because our brain's wiring, that's what we've been, seeing and experiencing since birth, and then all of a sudden you see it in a different light. It's like a little kid who's never seen a wolf and he's only seen dogs. And then he sees a wolf in the wild, he goes to pet it, and the wolf bites his arm off. Like, it's, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just exposure. You just don't know the proper way to act or behave or whatever.
Yeah. Well, speaking of exposure, That shit happened to me when I was little. Like I used to get my haircuts in Mexico. My uncle would take me to a barber shop that was.
That was cool. I used to, yeah, those Mexican barbershops were cool, man.
Yeah, but this one was exclusively gay. Like
Whoa!
Yeah, everyone that worked there
They're
was gay.
fabulous!
Yeah, which as a kid,
A lot of pomade in the hair, right? Slicked.
Probably this was like the early '90s.
Yeah, early 90s,
90s.
Hispanic. Yeah, it was all about that slick back hair, man. Woo! Looking fly like a wise guy.
So yeah, as a kid, I didn't know any better. I didn't see those lines that some adults see
Because it
today.
never mattered. The sexuality wasn't a thing in your life at that time, so everybody else's sexuality wasn't even a topic for thought.
Yeah, and my aunts would ask me like, "Oh, who cut your hair?" And I'd be like, "Oh, sir, that's called gay, like a mister called gay." And I'm like,
El Joto?
"Yeah, like
That's what
un
you were-
señor que se llama Joto." And it's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, a man
because in
named
Spanish,
gay."
and yeah.
Yeah, because my uncle would be like, "Yeah, let's go with the gays," because.
Con los Jotos.
Yeah, because
But you just thought of it as a name.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because
Yeah.
I guess he was very good friends with some of them.
Yeah, it was like I have cousins who are twin. They call them the cuates growing up, but Spanish wasn't my first language. But it wasn't until I was a little bit older that I realized, oh, they're the twins. That I thought the cuates were like their last names.
No, yeah.
They were twins who were called cuates, but that was a term for it.
Yeah, cuata is actually what you call a friend. A twin is a gemelo.
Right, but it's you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the same with me. I thought the
To-
guy's
to,
name was gay.
Yeah, that was the colloquialism at the
Yeah.
time for them being twins.
Yeah, and that happened. And then I got to a point where I saw a man, or a man came up to me, right? A man in drag, and
Oh, I got a good story about that.
yeah, and I'm over here. I'm like, that's a guy
Yeah.
dressed as a woman. Like as a kid, I knew that was a man
Mhm.
dressed as a woman, and I asked him like, that's a man. Why is he dressed like a woman?
Yeah.
And one of those things where you don't know how to explain it to a 3-4-year-old,
Yeah.
right? But I don't. I guess that's why I think I've always known about gays, and that I really don't mind their existence. I guess it's fucked up to say it, but yeah, some people are like, he's gay, what? And I'm just like, oh, okay, like I pay no mind to your sexuality.
Yeah, it's a non sequitur.
Yeah, which goes back to how we opened up, that the woke women are like, it's imperative that you wear your sexuality on your sleeve.
Or just your ideology. You have to
Yeah.
be so I think we spoke about this on the episode that didn't end up coming out, was how what lost my train of thought.
Oh, about that it's imperative to wear your sexuality on your sleeve, or your ideology.
Yeah, so people are so quick to force you to do that. I don't know where the fuck I was gonna go. I had a good point that I was gonna call back
no,
to.
we had a
It's
story about it.
it's because that fucking episode's still throwing me off, man. I'm gonna call it out one more time, because that one episode that I really wanted to release, I thought it was a good episode. We ended up having to postpone till further notice.
Yeah.
And I keep wanting to reference things from that episode, and so I'm like, oh, but we didn't talk about it. It jumbles things up in my brain, and by the time it's supposed to come out of my mouth, it's like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it.
No, you're gonna share a fucking anecdote about a transgender.
Oh, a possible, or just
Yeah.
a cross-dresser. I'm not sure, but I was working. It was one of my first jobs, first legit jobs, like with the W-2 and shit. Working at the local outlet mall at Aldo Shoe Store, and this one person came in, and it was a large person with androgynous, like a very large androgynous body, and then long blonde sandy hair curled up, like out processed, like in a perm kind of curl, and like a very and then the guy, Well, once he started speaking, I realized it was a guy because there's a certain timbre and baritone to a voice, even when they're trying to sound effeminate, that you can kind of figure it out. So then he goes directly to the clearance section in the back, and for some reason, like I noticed there's a legitimate discomfort from some of the employees that I was working with, and they were like kind of avoiding asking if he needed help. I was like, you guys are fucking weird. So I went up, and I don't know if it was like they didn't, because he wasn't dressed really well, just shorts and a t-shirt come in, but like perfect pedicure, hair processed. I was like, oh, this person's looking for shoes. Like I'm a salesman. Yeah, I was just looking at it as a sale, nothing else, you know. And then like as I'm helping them, I could notice that the other employees were looking at me like what does he think of him, the person that he's helping, you know, like that. You're getting a little more eyes on you than you normally would in this situation. And lo and behold, I sold maybe like 7 pairs of shoes to this guy. They were all clearance sales, but it was like a $500 tab.
Yeah, so
and it was like sandals, and 1 pair of heels in his size. Like massive fucking heels, size 12 or 13, you know. I think we had the 1 pair back there of that 1 shoe in that size. And you know, because I wasn't fucking thinking of them as anything other than everybody else that walks in the damn store, like possible sale, Margaret, you know, upsell, you know. It should be something that's a non sequitur to any sort of relationship, you know, that's not obviously not sex based, because if you're not sexually attracted, then you should not pursue that, right? But in any other respect, as in a friendship, in a business, in anything else, like who gives a shit their personal preference or style? All that matters is their function in the relationship you have with them. If we have a great relationship as business partners, you can come in wearing a thong and leopard skin tights if you want. I don't give a shit, as long as we're making money, honey.
Yeah.
I'll buy you the outfit. You know, it'll be our Valentine's Day present to each other at the office. But yeah.
But yeah, no. With some people, you can clearly tell that's a guy, and with what's going on nowadays, it's like that guy in GameStop. Like, excuse me, it's ma'am.
Oh, jeez,
ma'am.
Yeah, that was. But that person, didn't it come out that they had like he had a history, or she rather, if that's what she prefers to be known as. I'm okay with that. But to say it's and forcefully and be that upset and not give the person a chance to readjust to the situation before you start biting their head off
and showing all that testosterone.
But whatever. I mean, whatever. There's always an excuse for people to be pissed off, right? Yeah. My point is that I think this person already had a history of being somewhat violent and confrontational with other people, and this one just happened to be caught on camera and went viral. But yeah, man, it's just weird, the things that we choose to hold on to as like, this defines me and everything that I want around me. I was like, well, don't you want to fucking experience the world and everything else outside of your goddamn bubble?
Yeah, that's the other thing these people don't understand, is that your sexuality doesn't define you. Your politics don't define you. They're a part of you that, you know, encompassing fucking together, collective. There's a collective of things that make up you, and that you should be celebrated. And when it comes to, you know, dating, you should find somebody to fucking compliment you.
You want somebody to love. Oh, you need somebody to love.
Yeah.
You want somebody to love. You better find somebody to love. Woo, cable guy.
Yeah, a little finger in the throat. Give it away.
Yeah. Don't say fingering my throat like that.
No,
what's wrong with you?
Finger on the throat.
You said in.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, corrected.
On. But yes, it is very hard to even talk to these people, because that's.
What do you mean these people?
These people, the feminists, the SJWs.
But I mean, to be fair, they're the 1% is the loudest, right? Isn't that the common refrain now. Like,
Yeah, with the power of
it's
the
just
internet,
they're the
yeah.
ones that are getting trendy and because they're outrageous. People like it's outrage culture. It's gonna continue because that's the nature of our social media right now. It's everything that outrages gets attention. So you don't get the conversations that are in between, like me and you.
Yeah, like well, good thing we have a podcast.
Good thing we have a podcast that nobody gives a shit about because it's not outrage culture. I mean, that's the point of this being the Inappropriate Podcast, right? That's what we've been describing it as from the beginning, is the shit that, no, you're not allowed to be in the middle. You're not allowed to have that conversation and understand both sides because today's culture, you need to pick a lane.
Yeah, and here we are having that
conversation. And here we are drunk driving, just swerving around the highway.
Like, yeah, but no, I was at a protest a few years back.
What?
I was counter protesting, but I was keeping it on the down low so that they wouldn't kick me out before the protest started. But I was talking to some of the people. They were leftists clearly because they were there to protest Trump. You know, in front of an empty courthouse.
What was it about the wall going up?
Him being president.
Just in general, just anti.
Yeah, this was around the time of his inauguration.
So what's crazy is that they spend so much money on these rallies against a person when they could put that same time, effort, and money into supporting the candidate that they actually want to vote for.
Yeah,
that's what matters. Is the support your beliefs to support your candidate, not argue the opposite end of it, because you're not going to convince people by just arguing against it. You're going to convince people by showing the benefits of your opinion, the benefits of your plan, the benefits of your party. But you're not going to do that by just attacking the, negative. Unless you're Trump, then you make an art out of it.
Yeah, so I was talking to these people, and amongst them was a gay couple, right? And I was telling them how I don't understand this whole thing about gay rights if in the fucking in the Bill of Rights,
gay rights?
Yeah, it doesn't say these rights are
human rights.
Yeah, these rights are exclusively to white people. You know, these rights don't count to blacks, to gays, to Jews. No, it says we the people, created equal, fucking blah blah blah. And I was telling them that gay marriage is protected under the First Amendment. That the only fucking reason why it's a big deal is because politics. Like I was saying with culture, as long as it's an issue, there's money flowing. And this chick came up to me, one of the gay couples. She was like, "Hold on. So you're saying that I don't have a right to marry my fucking significant other?" And I'm like,
"No, you just said that it was protected."
Yeah,
under the First Amendment.
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying you should get married to whoever you want because
it's protected.
Because it's your right to. Mm-hmm. And the entire morning before the the protest started, everyone I spoke to was picking a fight with me, and I'm like,
do you think it was because of your aesthetic? You didn't match the room? Because you don't exactly dress for the occasion a lot of the time.
Well, what was I wearing?
That's what I'm curious. Like, what were you presenting yourself as when you were?
I was wearing.
Were you bringing it up argumentatively, so to speak, or just?
No. I was trying to have a conversation because at the time I was thinking, okay, these left-leaning Democrats, these social warriors. Because at the time I thought woke meant just fucking that you see the truth.
You're paying attention.
Yeah, that is just another form of red pill.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, these people...
You didn't realize it was a term that's literally boxing you into a side.
Yeah. Yeah, ironically. So then I thought, with them claiming to be woke and me and my libertarian views, we'd mesh well, we'd get along. They're practically the same views.
Practically? Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of this shit lines up with each other. It's just everybody wants to get there taking a different route.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, can't we work on fucking building the highway here? We don't have to take all these serpentine patterns and crossing each other and running into each other to try and get the same fucking thing done. We all want fucking better living standards. We all want less homeless. We all want less drug addicts and fucking suicidal tendencies out there. We all want all of these same things, but we're all focused on how we're not doing it.
Just approaching them differently.
Yeah. It's like, let's just try it all. Just do it all. That make everybody happy. Whoever does best will continue on with that one and cancel the rest.
Yeah, and because you belong to the wrong party, your views are wrong.
Yeah.
And they should be demonized.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, fucking listen to me. You're hearing what you want to hear, but what I'm saying is
and the problem is you're not in a room talking about this. You're out in public. So the person that that they hear one thing they disagree with, they get louder. Yes. And they get louder so that maybe the person a little closer can jump in onto their side. And like, are you kidding me? When you get upset, you start getting louder and louder, and you can only do that in public. In private, people cow down. People get nervous to start yelling at each other because they don't want to ruin that. You don't know the danger of fighting with that person on a one-to-one. But if you're in a crowd, it's a lot easier. That's what our internet culture is right now. That's why it's so easy to talk so much shit on the internet, because you're guaranteed to have at least one person fucking agree with you. And as long as one person agrees with you, the diffusion of responsibility is there.
Yeah, and if you notice that when we argue, I tend to lower my voice in a more calmer tone.
Yeah, it pisses people off. Because I do the same. I do my best to do that all the time. And especially at work, when people are used to dealing with like a little more aggressive employees, and then they come to me and they expect me to defend my case in an unrational and
I expect you to get fucking hostile.
But then I'm like, listen, I just need to explain to you that I think you guys need to understand, and I write almost everything down at work to cover my bases and stuff, to make sure that there's no miscommunication between me and my employers or me and my supervisors, because I know how easy it is to misunderstand somebody who you don't communicate the same with. We all have different ways of communicating. So the best thing you can do to communicate with somebody that you can't find common ground with is to write down and just lay out facts, just strict numbers, and just the facts. If the facts don't line up with your argument, then maybe you're wrong, or maybe you're just not justified in arguing it to begin with, because you didn't pay enough attention to your own dilemma, that you're being presented with, whether it be with your significant other, your employer, whoever. Like, if you're starting an argument with no information to base it on, you're not going to win that argument. At best, it's going to be a draw, and everyone's going to be pissed off.
Yeah, and then apparently you are less likely to, or somebody is less likely to agree with you if you show them facts.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I'm like, well, if they're facts, you can be like, oh, clearly I was wrong.
Because it's implying that the person you're showing the facts to doesn't have any. And people get offended because they like to believe, like, well, I came to this conclusion reasonably. But a lot of the times they're not taking a step back to realize the amount of emotion they're putting into that argument.
Yeah.
Like, if you could remove the emotion and just take it for what is factual, what is actuality, what is, tangible evidence, you're going to realize that we tend to skew our ideas one way or the other based on our own experience and not based on the statistics. Which is why you have anti-vaxxers, which is why you have, the plethora of these situations. A plethora.
Yeah. How much time do I have left? Because I want to get into the soy boys.
We're at 40 minutes. Yeah, we can do 10. Well, oh, that's right, soy boys.
Because
we diverted from that quite a bit.
Because you said that you used to be a feminist ally, I think it was, but you were actually successful, and I'm like,
oh, well, okay. The idea was that for people who don't think that there's like guys just fucking trying to get in your goddamn pants with the social justice shit. Like, of course, any guy who doesn't use any advantage he can to spread his seed isn't following biology. And I'm not proud of it. I am not proud, but you
were young.
You play the field. I would transform into any person you needed me to be, man. Because I was okay. I'm a malleable person. I'm not committed to being anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, now I'm a dad and I focus on just being the family man because that's the role I choose to play. But I could choose to play a fucking drifter and fucking leave my family tomorrow and go on the fucking road. I may feel like shit. I may not think about it ever fucking again. I don't know because I haven't put myself in that position. And I choose not to. But we all have those decisions to make in life. And so when you're faced with the point, well, should I act this way to try and have sex or just continue to act this way and be guaranteed I don't have sex? I might start changing the fucking timbre of my voice. I might just change the fucking cadence and the structure of my word choice instead of saying, oh yeah, babe, you're fucking gorgeous. If she's a nice church girl, I'd say, sweetheart, you're so beautiful tonight. Like, that outfit looks great on you. But if I'm hooking up with some chick out of Houston and we're just out at a club and we're like, damn, girl, you look good. You know, like you get,
like, damn,
you
bitch,
adjust,
you is fine.
You adjust your approach. You know what I mean? So, and it's easy to get locked into something when you're trying to just hook up. And then all of a sudden, oh shit, we've been hooking up for a week. Oh shit, I gotta go to her parents tomorrow and I still gotta act like this fucking little Republican boy that goes to church every weekend, that wears a fucking button up to work every day. And, you know, you play a role until, especially at young ages. Like, before your prefrontal cortex is fully developed at 25 or fucking 30 for some of us idiots like me. I feel like I didn't stop developing until just fucking this year. So, there's just no way to say that it's not happening. You know, there are soy boys out there, or, you know, these
they call them
these sheep in
wolves' clothes. No,
No,
wolves in sheep's clothing.
No, they're sheep. 'Cause they're still sheep. They just took the wool off of another sheep. No, they're borrowing the fucking, they're the sheared sheep that have no fucking fortitude of their own, so they adapt and they fucking hide under another sheep's clothing just to fucking blend in and feel like one of us. You know what I mean?
So I think these are who they call white knights because they claim to be feminists to get female attention, and then they're nice to women, expecting, you know, feeling that they are now entitled to getting in your pants.
Yeah, and then they get offended, like, well, I thought we cared about each other. I made you breakfast. Like, they're the guys that'll guilt you.
Yeah.
Fucking guilt you into
the cable guy. I made you scrambled eggs.
Now, don't get me wrong. I guilt my wife into having sex with me all the time.
Yeah, but that's marriage.
But that's marriage. That's the only way we continue. No, I'm kidding. But, well, no, I'm not kidding. That is... We've been together 7 years. At some point, there's a little convincing necessary, you know?
Yeah.
She was like, it's too early. I was like, it's too hard. Something needs to give here.
Yeah.
Like, just hold your hand out like this. No, go. You can go back to sleep. Just hold your hand out like that. Judge not, my friend, lest ye be married. So do you want to touch on anything else with these soy boys? We're pretty good here. I don't think we're
I think we covered 10 minutes. I mean, that was a brief overview.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what else you want to go on. I mean, obviously that's just the nature of fucking hormones.
Yeah, because I was telling you, you're the exception to that rule.
Well,
because you fit tall, dark, and handsome.
To be fair, I had an upper hand in the way I was raised. I had a grandfather who was very old school and taught me chivalry was a necessity of life, and respect and honor. He was an army guy, so he developed certain ideologies like you're always early to be on time, and if you're on time, you're late, kind of fucking things. I was lucky enough to have that influence in my life, and then my grandma too. I saw very strong women, even as homemakers, be like the backbone of a family. So there was a lot of respect for what a woman really is in the household. And I had 4 sisters. I didn't have brothers that were filling me with testosterone. There wasn't testosterone levels being thrown back and forth in my house. It was mostly just mine. And me being left to my own accord. And, you know, it wasn't necessarily false, my social justice. Just I was just a fucking horny kid, man. Like,
Yeah.
it has nothing, in the end, like, I was considered somewhat attractive. So it was easy for me to get certain girls. Like, because girls are just like guys. We're all horny, dude. We're
Yeah.
all going through these hormonal shifts. We all want to get laid. We all want to get played with. We all want to feel these, these sensations that flood our bodies with cortisone and all these, good feeling chemicals, So yeah, I'm not the exception to the rule. It's just, that's just the nature of the draw, I guess. I worked on being attractive. Like I told you, like for some reason my sex drive kicked in by like second grade. I was just ready to try and get a girlfriend since then. Like the second there was even a hint of puberty in my life, it was all about getting a girlfriend. So when you work on it and you realize and you watch things like Revenge of the Nerds where they say, how are you so good at this? And the nerd tells the chick, which he basically rapes in that scene, and then afterwards she's okay with it because he was good at it. Real fucked up situation. You can't get away with that shit now. But the point was, like, well, when all these jocks are out there working out and bench pressing and working on their muscles, us nerds are there trying to figure out how to make you girls feel good and to want to do it again with us,
Yeah.
So they pay more attention to how to make, I was that kid. I was the one that, I wasn't the biggest kid, I wasn't the most attractive, but I was the sweetest. And I learned if you're sweet, you can get a treat.
If you're sweet enough, because if you're too sweet, then that's how you land on the friend zone.
Which happened to me more often than not. More often than not, that's what it was. But what gets you in the friend zone in your childhood gets you married as an adult. Like, it's all those, when you teach yourself how to be sweet, whether it's for sex or just for love or whatever the hell but the point is to focus on treating people as good as you can, even if it's for selfish reasons. You end up becoming a person that treats people as good as you can, just in habit. And now I'm not doing it to fucking get sex with everybody that I meet. I'm sweet and I'm kind to people, at least I like to think so, in order to make them feel good and have a good experience with me. I want to keep having further experiences with me in conversation or what have you. But some people just get locked into doing it just for the sex.
Yeah. Those horny bastards. I used to do that for a time. Just fucking be who you need me to be just so I can get in your pants.
You still are. But anyway, so that's been the Completely Inappropriate Podcast. I think that's a good place to cut it off.
Yeah.
What do you think, Frank? You gonna try the soy boy
No.
angle?
No, well, there's this guy out there that I'm not going to get into too much detail, but he doesn't like me because, one, I called him out on his bullshit, and B, he thinks I'm...
What's the point of bringing this up?
I'm toxic masculinity. That was the point. That I come off as toxic masculinity.
Was this actually said to you, or is this just
people.
a feeling you have?
It's a word on the street.
And then you project a little too. Do you worry about the word on the street too much? Let people think what
I
they
don't.
will. Either you open your mouth and you prove their case, or you open your mouth and you prove
I
otherwise.
don't have to prove anything to anyone.
Well, then don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it.
Hey Frank, just tell
What?
the people where they can find us. We're supposed to wrap this up. You're going into some shit. You wanted to fucking bitch about some, like, hey, one more thing. Fuck this guy. Like, what's the point of that?
Like, hey, fuck this guy.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can find us on the Facebooks and on the YouTubes under Completely Inappropriate Podcast. On the YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe. It
on
helps
iTunes
us
as
out.
well. 5-star review. Don't
Yes.
try the other ones. They don't work. Trust us. We don't lie. We love you.
Yeah, because you can find us anywhere where you can get a podcast listening. And
Almost. Not everywhere. A
Yeah.
lot of places. If you're listening to us, you already found it though.
yeah, and what happened? You can find us in the social medias. In the Twitterverse under Completely Inap. In Instagram under CI Podcast. And I think that's it.
Yeah, and I did want to apologize for our audio problems the last couple episodes. I have no idea what the fuck happened, man. For some reason, it recorded us at like 2 times the speed and ended up giving us like chipmunk voices. So I had to like change the tone and the pitch and like
All
I
this
really
extra
had
work.
I had all this extra work and I just couldn't do anything about that clicking. But hopefully these come out okay.
Yeah.
And y'all want to return, share, share with your friends, share with your family, share with your kids, preferably 18 or older. I think think YouTube makes us say that now or some shit. Anyway, so this has been the Completely Inappropriate Podcast. Frank, what do we tell the people?
Be excellent to each other.
Find you happy. We love you. Bye.